Hey guys, Chief Fruity here, and this is the BTS for drop number 8. So I haven't done one of these weekly drop BTSs for about a week because Timeless came out 1 week ago. So I was doing the stuff with Timeless. So now I'm going to get back on to doing these BTSs. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to go into this first sound right now. And this is the pattern that is playing. So I'll play this later. I'm going to get into the sound first. So this is the sound. Yes, octaves down. And this is the main lead from the drop number 8. And what's interesting about this sound is this is actually a FM synth, except it doesn't sound like it. So, but I'll show you. So, I used a rectangle wave here. Now, this rectangle wave, like, this kind of sounds like a saw wave, but it's a rectangle, and you know, you can tell because all these are rectangles. And reason I did the rectangles, it just sounded really good with all of them. Like when they're all saws, it just sounded weird. So I used the rectangle for the first two, and then the second two, I used the rectangle at 32 for the pitch ratio. And for the final two, I used it at 64 for the pitch ratio. And that's what got it this sound. And then in the matrix here, for operator 2, I put this one fully engaged, and the 3, 4, 5, and 6 are about 20% engaged. And that's because they are gaining in pitch ratio, so I didn't want them engaged as much because the pitch would get way too high, and then it would just sound like this. And then that wouldn't be very good. You want it like this instead of that. So that's why I did that. And then since this is a FM synth, I made this off of actually a FM synth preset from drop number 3. So it has this. So it has that filter, but I kept it on here the whole drop. And then that is on track 6. And it has a reverb, a EQ, and a Vocodex. The reverb, just adding a little bit of reverb. And then this EQ is just boosting the highs, the mids, and the lows just to get it to be heard a little better. And then the Vocodex is kind of just filling it up with full wetness, full SG, and full bands. And that's the only thing I did on the Vocodex. So that was quite a simple sound. I turned it down a little bit because the Vocodex in here was getting it pretty loud because it had a full wetness and SG. So I turned those down. I turned those up, and then I turned this down. So that went down because of the Vocodex was up really high. And then the pattern it's playing is this. And what's interesting with this pattern is this pattern really uses a lot of the velocity. So this is the notes, volume that they're playing. So basically, this is just controlling the volume of each in particular note. So there's these two notes right here at different volumes. So when I loop these, you'll see what I mean, if you don't already. So it's playing a high volume note to a lower volume note here. And then that's what it's doing for this pattern. And then I have a kick drum playing quarters here. And that's just a regular kick on track 1, and all I did was boost the volume a little bit so it could be heard pretty well. So that's it for the kick there, and at the very end I have this snare right here. It's really loud, and that's because it has to be this loud to be heard in the mix. Like, listen. Like, that didn't sound nearly as loud in the mix, but still, when you solo it, turn the octaves up, but when you solo it, it's really loud. So here, I got the wetness up a little bit to give it the reverb, and that's really what gets it heard in the mix. And then it repeats that a second time, and then it goes to here, where I have these, which is basically just a second sound, a second synth playing the same pattern. So this was the same exact pattern, just a different synth using Harmore this time. So for this synth, since I just copied it over back on this really low octave, I just turned the pitch up so I didn't have to put these notes all the way up. But if you were replicating this, you'd probably want to put the pitch down like this, unless you play at the low octaves like I do. So and then I put all the harmonizers all the way up, and the unison all the way up, and nothing else in there. So that was all I did in the Harmor, but I did some stuff in a patcher. So in this patcher, I have a wave shaper, and what this wave is doing is this is actually distorting the sound. So I distorted the sound because I kind of wanted to fill it up a little bit, because when it's not like this, this is the default wave. It sounds really flat. So with this, it really filled it up. So that's why I did that. As well as I put on reverb, because these kind of harmonied sounds sound a lot better with the reverb. And I put EQ here. So this EQ is lowering the mids and the lows, because basically when there was like this, there's not really any difference in sound. There's a difference in feel and tone, because this was playing the lows and the mids here, and it was kind of getting too much sub bass in the sound. So I wanted to remove some of the sub by boosting the highs. So originally, I just did this. I thought, but then the highs are too big now, so then I thought I'd just keep these the same and just lower the mids and the lows, and that did the trick. It got rid of that weird bassy thing that was happening in the sound that I didn't like, because I want it to be filling, but not like sub-filling, if you know what I'm saying. So then here, I have a Vocodex to continue to fill it up by putting up the wetness about like 95%. So it's pretty high, but not fully. And then the SG and the bands and the reel and the harmonizers. So all those are all the way up. And then I turn off the draft, because everything sounds weird with the draft. So you can see it sounds a lot better without the draft on. And then I have 100 bands of distribution. So basically what a band of distribution is each and every little picture, no, not a picture, each and every little band here, like everything that represents a sound is a band. So if I turn these down, see there's less now. Now there's 5. And then when I turn it up to here, now there's 98. And now there's 100 of these. So basically, by turning it up to 100, the default's 47. So by turning it up to 100, it makes it so all these get distributed more finely. So it's a lot smoother, and it kind of embeds itself deeper into the synth. So that's basically what it was doing. If you don't understand that, don't worry about it, because you don't really need to be doing that. Oh yeah, the octave's all the way down still. So let's see. So here I added in a snare for progression, because normally, you know, after with EDM, they do the first 2, and the second with a snare, and then the third with normally some other kind of sound. So for that third, my other sound was a pluck, and that's this. So these plucks were made in Harmor, and this is a lot more notes than all the other patterns, and that is because I copied the same thing here, 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 and here, and then I copied this whole thing again and put it on top of itself at the second C, or at another octave above, because this song is in C. And then I did that because it fills it up a lot more, and when it's full, you know, I wanted the very end to just be a lot more full, but not really, because these are plucks. So it didn't fill it up like this, it filled it up like this, and then you can hear that hum, and that hum is really what filled it up. So this is the exact same sound that I showed you as the other one. It was this exact same sound copied to make this pluck, and then I recopied it up here, and the only difference I made was I did this. I just did that to get rid of the that harmony and get the pluck hum going in. So you can see the harmonizers, the unison, and the pitch are the same. On the mixer, I took out the Vocodex, because with the Vocodex, it sounded really weird with this hum. So it was like this. So these are the same settings that it had, and 100 bands here. So it sounded just really weird. See, that's just really weird. Like, Vocodex does not do well with plucks. So I turned off the Vocodex and just added in that reverb. And then I played it twice on top of itself, you know, with a second octave to fill it up a little bit more. And then it made this. So that was the BTS for drop number 8. I know that was really short, but this drop was pretty simple. So the next drop I'm going to do will be drop number 9. I know one of you was asking, like, when will it come out? So that'll be sometime this week, hopefully. So yeah, just put some stuff in the comments below for what your feelings are on this drop, because I'd love to hear what you guys think of these weekly drops, because, you know, they're every week. So yeah, cool thing to look forward to. So I'll see you guys in the next video.